traditional ADC, you can go for an AD mid laner as well, and you can really look to play aggressive in the early game. So Nautilus being picked up, Galio as well. Galio's going to protect you quite a bit from Lilia's AP damage, and the dive also happening from Warwick, so pretty good. But instead of the Orm, we are going to be going for Nautilus this time around for UI, so a bit of a different pick, but more single target crowd control this time for the likes of the Akali and the Ambessa.
Yeah, maybe they're anticipating the Ezreal pickup, right? Because, I mean, there is a lot more CC coming from the side of Baguettes, especially with the Nautilus, as well as Sniffers, as Kirk's calling them, especially with the lunge there. I feel like that would be a good way to make a break onto the Ezreal. They do ban out the Triss, they ban out the Xayah as well. And then Varus gets hit with the ban hammer in the side of Baguette, as well as the Severe. So it does leave open the Ezreal. There is not much left sort for into
a lot of ADCs banned.
The farm there. Yeah, there's a lot banned, especially more of the meta kind. Obviously, Lucian is still available, which we've seen that Almighty Capybaras has picked up before and done a fantastic job with.
Ezreal probably going to be the option here. And okay, you go double AP. Oh, this is it's a bit risky to go double AP here. I mean, you're probably going to go for an AD mid, but going heavy double AP means that, like, you can go, I mean, I'm trying to think of ADCs that you can play that can go like, oh, okay, Jinx? That was not what I was expecting. Is that Jinx from Arcane? Oh my, is that Powder? Hey, Powder. I was not expecting to see Jinx. My God. Okay, we didn't get Annie, but we got Jinx. I'm happy. That's good. I'm happy enough. And Lucian is going to be the pick, so no Ezreal this time around. But my God, I'm scared for the Jinx. Is a crazy pick in this draft because you have Ambessa diving onto you, Akali diving onto you, Lucian as well. I mean, Mumu has got to play this game flawlessly. Like, he needs to dodge so many skill shots and play this game so perfect. Otherwise, he's just going to keep dying over and over and over again.
Yeah, well, I feel like the Flame Chompers might be at a advantage here for Jinx. They'd be able to put those down and try and stop them coming into her
I don't think it really matters, to be honest. I mean, Ambessa could go straight through them. That's the crazy thing. I mean, that's the crazy thing about Ambessa is she becomes unstoppable with her ulti. So she can actually go through the Flame Chompers. Akali can even go around it if she really wants to. Lucian can go around it. Like, I think even the Flame Chompers won't really help her this game. Like, yeah, I just don't know how this Jinx pick is going to work, in my opinion. I don't see it. But hey, I could be proven wrong. Mumu might pop off and get a pentakill on Jinx, and we get a huge explosion like Arcane. So
maybe we just need to make sure that she gets those last hits to proc the passive, right? You need to get her pretty much rammed up and ramped up so she can just get excited and get all the kills that she wants to. But I really want to see how Almighty Capybaras, if they're able to have that same performance on the Lucian that they did in Game 2, in this Game 4. Because if they're able to do that again, I feel like it's going to be pretty unstoppable for them, especially now that they have the Ziggs as well. That big old AoE ultimate, being able to steal those neutral objectives is going to be something that they've been missing out in pretty much all their drafts, right? It's just being able to claim their neutral objectives from a very safe distance.
Exactly that. We'll have to wait and see as we're loading into potentially the final game. I mean, we thought last game was the final game, and then Timon was like, nah, buddy, we're going to game number 4, and now it's really going to have to be him and the rest of Almighty Capybaras. They're going to have to step up again because, I mean, Baguettes are not going to take that loss lightly. Like, they're going to take that loss and they're going to be like, what are we doing, guys? Like, hello? Like, do we have hands? Like, what are we doing, guys? So I'm expecting Baguette to come out all gun swinging in this game. I mean, they have a really good draft. They have a really good top side. Like Warwick, Lilia, Yone is an extremely scary top side of the map. You know, the crowd control, the burst damage that you have in that top side of the map is very scary. The Jinx is probably going to be left on an island. I wouldn't be surprised if Jinx is maybe left bot lane in the 1v1 and you try and rotate, like you play Nautilus and Warwick in the top lane, or Nautilus Warwick in the mid lane. I think this Jinx just needs to scale and get as much farm as possible. If she gets into a 2 versus 2, if she gets caught by like a Lucian, then it might be lights out early on here for Mumu. But I mean, like I said, he's gonna have to play this game flawlessly to stay on top.
Flawlessly indeed, but I think we've come to accept nothing but less than flawlessly from this team, right? I mean, they had a fantastic Game 1, Game 2. Yes, they took an L on Game 3, but I honestly feel like that was just down to draft and obviously timing just popping off on that Ezreal. But like you said, the top side of the map looks very scary. Maybe the Jinx is going to be a bit of a distraction. Maybe she's going to take all the flack whilst we start to see the Yone, Lilia, and the Warwick just kind of just have their own way with the...
She's the sacrifice.
She's the sacrifice. That's it. Yeah, that's it. She's the little lamb that's been casted astray in this Game 4, right?
I'm just thinking, was there any other ADCs they could have picked? Because there's so many banned.
Zeri, they could have gone for.
Zeri, yeah, Zeri's pretty good. I mean, like, Jinx is so weird. There's surely other ones as well. I mean, Kallista's not that great anymore. Yeah, I guess the only other option is really Zeri. That's really the only other option. Unless you want to play someone like Caitlyn, but even then she can struggle a bit in pro play. Yeah, I guess there was not really much other options. Like, Vayne is not going to be very good. Twitch is just useless. Samira's no good. Neela's no good. MS no good. Kallista's terrible after nerfs. Kaiser's not that good anymore.
We could have gone for AP Seraphine. We could have had AP Seraphine there.
I mean, then I just think you have too much AP damage. I don't know. I mean, even on the other side, I think there's just so much AP damage from like Akali plus Ziggs. If Lucian also goes for the same build with like Storm Razor plus Slurry Charge Blade, that's also going to be more magic damage on top. I wouldn't be surprised if Lucian kind of adapts his build and just goes for like raw AD, like Bloodthirster, Magnetic Blaster. He just go as much AD as possible, because him and Ambessa are really the only two AD sources on this game. So like Yone can go for Wit's End, Warwick can go for Wit's End, Lilia doesn't really have a choice of any magic resist item. Jinx can even try and go Wit's End as well, or more of Malmortius. Nautilus can just go a bunch of magic resist. So I mean, in the end, this is going to be a little bit scary, to be fair, to see what happens. But hey, we won't have that much longer to wait.
Not much longer to wait, and there we are. Just as he calls it on time, it's as if he's the producer at the same time, the mastermind behind the scenes.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Let's see what his lane assignments go then. It seems that Ziggs is going to go into the bot side, so they're going to put Lucian in mid with their support. Jinx is actually going to be in the mid lane this time, interestingly enough. So the Jinx is going to be in the mid lane, which means that you're going to have a 2 versus 2 in the mid lane, which is scary for the Jinx, because Lucian's going to be very, very aggressive.
Oh yes, very aggressive indeed. But right now we are seeing obviously the Lucian and Galio and everybody that's normally down into the dual lane into the mid lane, as we see Hans and Roxy go head to head here. A bit of a tip for tat going on, but no one's going to claim that kill, which we saw quite early on in Game 3, right? That up into the Baron lane, there was a big clear pick-off earlier on, and this time around it's going to be a little bit J-baited here.
Yeah, oh my god. I mean, taking a tower shot is not what you want there if you're Shio. Oh no, the flash forward as well. Hans gets first blood, and how do you even get caught by the tower this early on in the game? That's a huge mistake there from Shio on this Warwick. And again, Almighty Capybaras getting early first blood.
Bad Warwick. Bad. Naughty. Don't take that shot. But Kalos are looking pretty low.
Get a kill. Ignite.
The zap.
Maybe last pick. Oh, Jinx doesn't get the kill. But it is the Nautilus getting the kill. So that is an assist over to Jinx. And somehow they win the 2 versus 2 in bot lane.
Hey, they managed to get it. They managed to get it. All they had was a dream, and they made it happen. But what's currently not happening here is the kill for Yone onto the Ziggs. And I think it's only a matter of time.
There's a crazy 2 versus 2 kill in the mid lane. It's going to mean that the Jinx is going to be absolutely crazy.
Make certain to practice what I taught you.
Right, okay, so we're seeing here the bit of a teleport. Can you hear me now, Stu?
Yeah, that was weird. I couldn't hear you in Discord for some reason.
That was a you issue, not me this time. Oh, okay, there's the Dredge Light
with the zap. Oh! I was wrong all along. It's Jinx from Arcane. It's time.
Yes, powder is popping off right now on the side of Baguette's actually getting a kill up into the mid lane thanks to the assist of the Nautilus. Again, great lockdown potential here for these two, but into the team fights, it's going to be interesting how that happens. There he is. Sniffers goes diving in onto the Akali. The status is there as well. Han's looking pretty low, but now Kalos is coming in with a bit of a disengage potential.
Yeah, lockdown was pretty good there from the Warwick and the Lydia on top of that as well, but the damage is just not there, unfortunately. Akali already has the Mercury treads online, so going to be taking less damage from the Warwick and also the Lydia, so it's going to be difficult to try and shut her down at this point. Nice adaptation here to go for the defensive boots, knowing that you're against quite a lot of, you know, AP damage on the top side. You know, Warwick does a bit of AP damage, and also the Lydia, so really nice hits that you use that early game gold lead for defensive boots, and you're able to just scale and just use that advantage to help you, you know, sustain throughout the laning phase.
Sustain for now. Sustain for now. I mean, we're getting into that 3 minute and 30 seconds mark as well. So soon we'll start to see those neutral objectives start appearing as well onto the lovely Rift. But right now we're seeing that Baguettes are up by 4K, not 4K, 14K. And then we have Aces up by around about 12.6. So they've got to try and stop that. There is Ambessa going straight into the backline of the Yone as well. So picking up a kill into the mid lane, getting a few of these turret platings as they just get that kill so easily. Dredgeline missing out there from the Nautilus. Going back in is Lucian, Galio, and the Ambessa. But it's going to be Lilia trying to keep her teammate alive, but it's not going to be enough. Galio gets the kill.
The mobility for Ambessa completely baiting the Nautilus in. Another 2 kills for Almighty Capybara. Really good to hit the go button there onto the Yone, knowing that he had none of his cooldowns back up and available. You can just hit the go button. You can use the culling with the Ambessa CC on top of that and do a crazy amount of damage. And again, it's the Ambessa who's going to be really, really far ahead this game. Currently on 2 assists, 200 gold in the lead right now. Is going to be able to go back to base and buy some more components. Jinx now in this 1v1 isolated matchup in the bot lane does need to be a little bit careful because it is against the Akali, but oh no, the Akali stepped up maybe a little bit too far. The Nautilus doesn't have his ultimate just yet though, and the Yone ulti misses, so Akali again is able to escape from a gank.
Yes, just about. I mean, that's the good thing about Akali's kit, right? She's able to just get out of there and get in when she needs to, but she was able to survive that 3v1, which was a good feat for the Baron laner of Aces. But we have the neutral objectives up. It's going to be Mountain Drake if they are able to claim all the Dragon Souls this time around. But it looks like Ambessa is able to claim that up very easily in that 1v1 against the Drake. But it seems like they're just kind of baiting off and waiting for Ambessa to be ready to take this Hex Tech. It looks like it's going to be the Mimics this time around, which we saw are very painful, especially when all placed in one lane. And it looks like they're trying to go for it. Roxy's in there, but they are able to take it on the side of Aces. We do see the Super Rocket come through. It came through, deleted pretty much most of Lucian's health, but so was Warwick going down. It's an arcane takedown.
Rest in peace.
2-for-1 trade in the end for Baguettes. They do lose the Mimics though, so they are probably going to lose quite a lot of tower platings and quite a lot of gold. They're going to try their best though to try and defend one of these towers. So they can defend one of the towers, that would be absolutely great. As you can see, the mid lane play coming on through, and Ambessa jumps straight onto the Jinx, but you do have the protection there of the Nautilus, but that does not matter. You can see the downside of the Jinx. As soon as Ambessa jumps in and dashes in, you have the follow-up from the Galio, you have the follow-up CC, and Ambessa is completely popping off. Warwick's trying his best to try and trade back, but he's not going to be able to do enough damage. Akali's going to even jump back in. Akali jumping back in, trying to do enough. Roxy's running, he's praying, he's hunting down the Ambessa. You're not going to do enough damage there, buddy. Another kill over to Almighty Capybaras, and we could be going to a game 5.
Potentially. I mean, they'll be able to dominate this mid lane with those Mimics as well, taking the T1 very easily. But then, honestly, I don't know what Roxy was thinking trying to go back in for an engage there. It just didn't quite make sense in my brain, so I can't imagine it made sense in his, especially when he was going with a 4v1 there. But it does mean that they're able to take that T1 in mid and take some of those turret platings down into the farm lane as well. So a lot of gold going over to Aces. They are currently up around about 3k gold, if I'm going to be charitable here. But we do see that Yone goes in and then gets taunted as well, but it looks like it's going to be enough to take out the Lucian, which is going to be troublesome for Kalos here. Depth charge does actually connect, but he's a bit too safe in that T1 to take it down.
And the eyes on this game for Mighty Capybaras is going to be on Shin again on this Ambessa, and performed incredibly well in the last 2 games on this pick, and it's been given it for a 3rd game in a row. Lost that first game, unfortunately, but with the Ezreal being so far ahead in that previous game, it just gave Ambessa so much time to be able to jump in onto the back line with everyone focusing on that Ezreal. This time, it's going to be everyone trying to focus on that Ziggs, already doing a crazy amount of damage. Luden's Echo completed already. Ambessa is now 1,000 gold ahead, 2-0-4. He's going to be looking for trying to get another kill. Look at that damage onto the Warwick. Uses the dash to get away, to dodge away from the taunt. Warwick, though, is going to use the ultimate to get away to safety. But here comes Galio. The taunt's going to come through. Great flash away there from Shio. This Warwick pick is not working this time around.
Yeah, no, it doesn't look like so much fun on it, but see, neither is hard on the Akali. He gets taken down, and it looks like they're going to get the T1 into the bot lane as well, so nicely done, but it is going to be traded by a T2 into the mid lane, so a big priority here for Aces to get some domination into these lanes already. They're not going to answer the call into the bot lane as they are approaching the T2 in both of the opposite lanes here. We see Baron lane going to take down, and we see that the farm lane gets taken down as well, so a bit of a map dominance play from both of these teams, looking just to try and get a way into that base.
Again, Baguette's realizing that they cannot defend that that top lane tier 2. They actually did defend it in the end, but they couldn't defend that mid lane tier 2. So they're like, okay, we need to funnel as much gold on this Jinx as possible. She just bought a straight magnetic blaster from one base. It was like 3,000 gold from one base. So she was sitting on a lot of gold. But they know now all they need to do is funnel as much gold on this Jinx as possible. So they used that advantage. They grouped 4 members into the bot lane. They got Jinx a kill, and Jinx got 2 towers as well. 7,800 gold on this Jinx. Now the same amount of gold as Ambessa. So they're really trying to make sure that they keep this Jinx, fed in terms of the gold. But it's really about trying to keep this Jinx alive in a team fight. Can it be done?
Yeah, it's going to be hard for them, right? Especially when they've got Lucian. It's putting such pain. Okay, the depth charge coming through straight onto the Lucian here. He may get lost in a 2v1 here. He's going to be able to take out Roxy before he does. The Galio does come in. There's Kalos going in straight into the top, leaving Shin to be able to take a second Drake. It is going to be Lydia taking a kill onto Lucian, so they do lose a life for another Infernal Soul. But I feel like that is a good trade for the side of Aces, being able to get one step closer to that Mountain Dragon Soul.
Yeah, there's one away here, and Yone's again going to be caught in mid lane, and it just looks like this Ambessa is just way too fed. It's just so doing crazy amount of damage with this 24th plus the Black Cleaver. As you mentioned, that dragon being taken means that they are now 1 away from that Dragon Soul. Oh no, Nautilus buddy, you are on the wrong side of the map, my friend. This might be another kill here over to the Ambessa. He's trying his best to survive for a long amount of time, but honestly, there is nowhere that you can run, buddy. Who they give the kill over to? It's going over to Akali, but they're going to try and use this advantage to try and get another tower here. Jinx uses the rocket from downtown to get another kill, and somehow this Jinx is 3-1-3 right now. And if this Jinx can continue to get funneled this gold from kills from towers, she could become in a really strong spot in the late game. But again, I just worry about this Ambessa being so fed, the way that she can easily jump onto the Jinx and do so much damage. Like, I still worry for this Jinx, even though that she's, quite far ahead.
Yeah, Mumu's got to be careful, especially when most of her teammates are kind of just taking random L's, right? I mean, we saw Random get picked up there on the Yone. I think it was like about a 3v1. A little bit unfortunate, a little bit reminiscent of his last Jace play as well, where he got picked up into the top side of the map. So I feel like they just need to make sure that Random doesn't overextend too much, because it seems to be quite historical that he's been taken out by these, like, uneven advantages from the side of Aces, and it ultimately kind of snowballs into effect into these team fights. But like you were saying there, Ambessa is looking pretty fat in that jungle. She is the Ambestie of the side of Aces.
It's all about the Ambessa trying to get onto the back line, trying to get onto this Jinx. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Nautilus, instead of engaging, using that ultimate defensively to try and peel for this Jinx, try and play front to back. If you can just kill one member, Jinx gets the reset, and then she can completely pop off. But it looks like the Baron is actually being started here. It's gone. It's completely gone. It's not even close. They're going to try and look for it still. Warwick's going to try and dive in. The Warwick ultimate comes on through, but it's not going to be enough. And Besser's going to dive in onto the back line. And suddenly, it just looks absolutely disastrous for Baguette. They're going to get another kill and another kill here for Almighty Capybara. They're going to get 3 kills, or 2 kills, sorry, and the Baron Nashor. Just like that, the game gets accelerated. The Baron Nashor gets taken. The Akali gonna try and get an outplay here in the 3 versus 1. I don't think you're gonna get too much more here. The Chompers are gonna be there, not gonna stun just yet. It's gonna stun right now. They need to give this kill over to the Jinx. They do not. The Yone takes the kill. Meanwhile, they're just running straight down mid and trying to take this inhibitor tower.
Yeah, Han knew exactly what he was doing, right? He was just played as a ploy and a distraction for the side of Baguette up into the top side of the map. Just as you saw there, we saw the gas being put on in the minimap by the T-Hex and then Besser. Just walking that minion wave into the mid lane. Not actually get into that T3 though, however, but it means that they're able to kind of switch a little bit of a change of priority in this match. I think Aces just need to make sure they play these lanes correctly and get something out of this T-Hex, because if they don't make any use of the T-Hex, it's going to be maybe the downfall of them in this game 4.
It's difficult because they do have a decent amount of wave clear. You know, they can use the Yone clone to, you know, dash in, just clear the wave quite quickly. They have Lydia AoE damage. They have the Jinx AoE damage as well. So they do have quite a lot of wave clear. I feel like they need to try and split up this map and try and push in multiple lanes. If they can push in the top lane and also the mid lane, they can do quite a lot of damage. The Lucian Culling does come on out to try and do enough damage, but you can see here the Jinx rocket's just been able to clear this wave instantly. The T-Hex is trying to do some damage to the champions, but it's not doing enough. They can't get any of these inhibitor towers so far, and this is a 4 versus 5. This is with random pushing in the bot lane at the same time, but we have 5 seconds until this dragon comes up. This is the Mountain Soul for Almighty Capybaras. They're going to try and trap here in a bush. They're just waiting, but no, they're just going to go for it. I think they just have to give this at this point, Baguette. Yeah, they just have to give this. They're going to give over the Mountain Soul over to Almighty Capybaras. They were looking for a pick instead, but they weren't able to get anything. However, they weren't able to utilize the T-Hex too much. No. So that is an upside for Baguette, but now they're playing against a Mountain Soul.
The Mountain Soul, we did say it's a good one, especially when they need that little bit of armor coming into these team fights, right, on the side of Almighty Capybaras. But we did see that Timing was able to get quite a bit of a juicy wave down into the bot lane just to try and get that T2, but it was actually called and seen by Baguette rather than trying to take the fight into the mid lane, which could have happened here. But we see him random just trying to make sure they're able to take down these minion waves in the mid lane, because if they give over any kind of lane priority over to Aces and then lose a team fight, I feel like that is going to be the curtain call for Baguette in this game 4. And you kind of seen it within the difference of the gold here. But speaking of that, that was a bit of a bait. Maybe the depth charge just come through onto Kalos, but they aren't able to get anything out of it. He's able to get back into that T1 safety. Once again, just not be able to utilize these champions on the side of Baguette.
No Warwick ulti and no Nautilus ulti. This could be the go button here for Almighty Capybara. Look on the side lane as well. Look at the Akali just sneaking in the bushes at the moment on the top side of the jungle, trying to find an isolated member, trying to get a flank possibility. They're jumping onto Yone. The Yone actually uses the flash to get away, but look at the flank by this Akali. They're going to try and shut down this Jinx if they can. The Akali takes one. The Jinx is still alive, but there's no other damage left on the team. They're gonna take down the Baron Nashor. The Nautilus is down. They're gonna try their best. The Warwick does do quite a lot of damage, but he's not gonna be able to do anything because the Quicksilver comes on through from the Lucian, and that means that the crowd control is not there. And they could get another kill, maybe. Yep, they're gonna get another kill here as well. That's 3 kills and maybe even more with this Akali. Can the Jinx gets one? Okay, the Jinx gets one. Doesn't get the reset though. Didn't do enough damage to get the takedown. They're going to try and look to go into this mid lane. Meanwhile, whilst they're defending the mid lane, the Baron is being taken. It's an absolute chaos of a game, but Almighty Capybara somehow still on top.
Yeah, looking to take another Baron Nashor, and there it is, claimed by Mbesti herself. She's able to take that one, and then if you look at the goal lead, as we were just speaking about it before, we saw Kalos almost get taken out by the death charge and then lead up to his death there. But it was very neck and neck, but now it's slowly going out of control thanks to Almighty Capybaras having such a great team fight in that one, able to get the Baron Nashor, but then also able to just keep the pressure on. And speaking of pressure, that Elder Dragon is going to be up in about 20 seconds, and that's where all that pressure is going to lie on the side of Baguette, because they know they can't give over this neutral objective. If they lose one more neutral objective, it's pretty much Jova.
Yeah. As soon as they lose this Elder Drake, it is going to be over here for Baguette. So we will be going to a game number 5. All eyes here on the Jinx. Can the Jinx get something going here? Or is it going to be on the side of Capybaras to step out on top? Huge Ziggs ultimate actually onto the backline. Takes half the HP away from Jinx. And they're going to try and start off this Elder Dragon. The Teen Hex, meanwhile, is just zoning out the rest of the team. They're trying to get this mid lane priority right now. But meanwhile, there's a fight happening in the bottom side of the jungle. The catch is actually coming out huge. Yone dashes over the wall, tries to dash back. Jinx can maybe get reset. Oh, the one shot by the Akali. The Jinx has no chance of getting any resets at all. The Elder Dragon gets taken, and that should be game for Almighty Capybaras to go to game number 5.
Yeah, surely. I mean, T-Hex still pretty much, what, 3/4 health there. We've got Shin running down in the bot lane as well as that mid lane. And then you've just got Random kind of just like, hey, guys, I can kind of defend top, but I don't know about the other 2 lanes, as they just lose the T3 into the mid lane with the T-Hex straight into the Nexus as well. There we go. There's Ambassador straight into the backline onto the Nautilus, and they're going to look to take out this game 4 in style with a T-Hex once more.
Game number 5 to finish off the day. What an incredible comeback here for Almighty Capybaras. I think most people, including myself, didn't give them a chance in this series, but they have stepped up huge. Timing last game on the Ezreal, Shin now 2 games on a row on this Ambessa. Definitely has to be something that Baguettes have to look at going into this next draft. And wow, oh wow, we have an incredible series. And now it comes down to the last game. The winner goes through to the final, and the loser has to play the 3rd place matchup tomorrow.
Yeah, whoever loses this one, it means that they will go up against Mango tomorrow. But like you were saying there, Stu, timing, Shin, all played fantastically well in that one. And I mean, even Shin was able to get no deaths once more in this game 4. And then if you look over to